Paul Joseph Watson has been digitally unpersoned by Facebook in the wee hours of Silicon Valley morning yesterday, and it appears by Instagram as well. I don't know if that was earlier than this, but certainly Facebook yesterday decided they were going to remove him. And to top it all off, he's been added to a dangerous persons list for effectively expressing his opinions on the internet. I mean, Paul Joseph Watson, regardless of what you think of his views, is not someone who's going around radicalizing people. He's not someone who's going around and trying to get people to commit acts of violence, acts of terrorism, these sorts of things. He's not trying to overthrow the status quo in anything other than, shall we say, a cultural sense, in trying to wake people up to what he perceives to be the state of affairs for Britain and the US. Now, PJW is what you might consider to be an overly successful meme lord. He spent his time critiquing modern art and architecture, then moved into the political space where he ended up working with or for Alex Jones for InfoWars, basically expressing his distaste for anything overtly leftist, anything which was censoring people, things which he perceives to be significant threats to the cultural fabric of Britain and America in particular, but also some worldwide stuff. And you might describe him as somewhat of a free speech warrior, someone who thinks that other people should have the right to say and think what they want. The linchpin of all this, of course, is the fact that he was given absolutely no reason for why he was removed. He has not broken any of the terms of service on Facebook's platform. Now, this is what the left does. This is what Silicon Valley does because of their particular ideological bent. What they want to do is ensure, like, I swear that they share the same view as John McDonnell, who is the shadow chancellor for Labour over here in Britain. His basic stance on how to deal with people is that if you are right-wing, in fact, if you are in the centre, if you're a Tory, if you're a Conservative, if you're anything like that, you should not be allowed to leave your house. You should be unpersoned from society. You should be given harassment in the street. You should just all fall in line behind the communistic, socialist utopia of censorship. We saw stuff like this earlier in the year with Alex Jones being removed from all platforms. We saw it with Sargon being removed from Patreon. We saw it with the banning of Lauren Southern from different platforms of all things. Right? Noting, of course, that this incredible standard of dangerous individuals being removed from platforms does not appear to extend to organisations like, I don't know, Hope Not Hate, a clear extremist organisation which admits to deliberately meddling using dirty, underhanded tricks to get its own way. It doesn't extend to groups like Antifa, a terrorist organisation as classified by the US government, is allowed to have accounts on Facebook. But Paul Joseph Watson, purveyor of memes, leader of shitlords on the internet, critic of cultural Marxism, critic of the left, critic of government, he's too dangerous to keep around. Oh no, he's a shut-in in real life, you know that, right? He doesn't leave his house. He doesn't really leave his house. And I mean, the man has 1.6 million subscribers on YouTube. Irrespective of whether or not you think he's actually correct on anything that he's been saying, the man is representing clearly and resonating with an awful lot of people online, people who feel that they cannot express themselves in everyday life, people who have legitimate grievances against the actions taken by this government and by these people. This is the classic case of the left treating what they consider to be a symptom of the problem rather than the problem itself. It's a secondary symptom. Paul Joseph Watson exists because the issues that people are raising are not being addressed, and because he produces quick, punchy videos which speak to these problems that people are facing. Now, I'd like to believe that this was the actions of a single team, a biased employee at Facebook, trying its best to get him removed just because they particularly don't like him. But this appears to be something which is happening consistently to anyone who is at all associated with the Trump campaign, with people who helped spread information that helped support Trump through his candidacy. And it's just clear that it's an ideological bent. And I laugh because the left has been going mental over the idea of Russian bots, about collusion, about Russians buying ads on Facebook to try and convince people which way to vote. And you just go, yeah, okay. And yeah, there's a case to be made if there was some genuine misinformation there, that those ads should never have aired, that they should never have gone up. However, most of the information that goes through on these things, especially from PJW, bless him, is opinion. It is opinion backed up by facts which are established, facts which have been verified. And anything which isn't a verified fact is treated and should be treated as opinion and extrapolation of those facts, as opposed to the facts themselves. And I hate to break it to you, corporations, but having an opinion should not be criminalised. It should not result in your digital unpersonhood from the public square, the public discourse that is social media these days. Because I doubt Paul Joseph Watson was using Facebook to spread his videos, etc., etc. I imagine that they've yeeted his entire personal account as well, the things that he would use to contact family and friends, where he would post updates about his life or organise things with people. And they don't want you to be able to do that. In fact, you get sites like MasterCard, PayPal, Patreon, all shutting down their creators when these things have nothing to do with the message they're even proposing. These are about things which allow you to live an ordinary life. And Paul Joseph Watson is not allowed to live an ordinary life, according to Facebook, according to Zuckerberg. And the thing I find the most disappointing is that the Trump administration, the government at large, has not stepped in yet. There's no statement been made, as far as I'm aware, condemning this action. There's been no action taken against Facebook. And people crying about, like, oh, it's a private company, they can remove him for whatever reason that they want. Yeah, but that's not explicit, is it, in their terms of service? It's not. There's not a line there saying, if you express a particular set of political values, we're going to remove you from our platform. And if he's not broken the terms of service, then, I mean, he's within his remit. Like, how would he know what he's been doing is wrong, etc., like, according to their terms of service, in order to get him removed, if they haven't even written it into their guidelines? But no, it's just, you're quite a dangerous person. Oh, but yes, we'll keep people like David Lammy, John McDonnell, etc. The left's entire charade of tolerance and fairness is exposed when we remove people of Paul Joseph Watson's bent. Now, regardless of whether or not you agree with him, it is a disgusting act by Facebook to remove him for no reason. It is a morally vacant stance to remove a private citizen for having the wrong opinion. Let me know what you think down below. Like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.